Hey, Shalom Israel, Yahweh Shem Shabrak Thumb to all the brothers, and Yahweh Shema Thumb Shem Yahweh all the sisters. I'm Priest and Officer Sherry Wan under Commanding General YAHANNA. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. All right, this is Wednesday night law class, biblical law class every Wednesday night. Um, if you're tuned in with us in Toronto, in Canada, we're teaching the law class every Wednesday night. All right, make sure you stay tuned in with us. All right, if your brother or sister who wants to join the school, we got the sign-in links in the chat. Make sure you hit that sign-in link button. All right, and make sure you like, share, subscribe to our page. All right, like, share, subscribe to our YouTube page so you can follow us, see what's going on in Toronto, see what's going on in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. All right, so again, I got the sign-in links in the chat. All right, make sure you sign in if you want to be a brother or sister in the school. Okay, and let's get into it. All right, today's topic is on the memorial of blowing the trumpets. Let's see. Yeah, today's topic is on the memorial of blowing the trumpets. Okay, get your precepts book. Get your precept books out. All right, take notes if you want to learn how to destroy the lies of all these other religions. We're gonna start. Right, get a precept book out or a book out. Take some notes, pen and paper. All right, write down what it is. What we're teaching in the I.S.U.P.K. All right, if you want to learn, you're a brother or sister. You've been in the Christian church a whole bunch of times. I've been in a Christian church my whole life. You know what I mean? And going into those churches, those pastors never taught us the Bible. These different religions, they never taught us the truth of the Bible. And the I.S.U.P.K, for the first time, you're going to be in a place where you actually learn the truth of the Bible. Right? There's scriptures that talk about study to show thyself approved. Scriptures like that, where the Bible and Christ is actually commanding his disciples to study, right? To study, to learn, to read these scriptures, learn the Greek, learn the Hebrew, right? Read all the different verses, right? Read all the different books in the Bible, you know what I mean? And study. That way, when somebody's speaking on behalf of the Most High, you can understand if this person is lying to you or not. You understand? It says in the book of Matthew, ye shall know them by their fruits. You understand? You want to know where the truth is. Your brother or sister who's looking for the truth. You know what I mean? You've been looking for where the Most High's prophets are, where they dwell, where they are on this earth. The scriptures say, "You shall know them by their fruits." Right? You'll see the different things that they produce. You'll see. Look at what the I.S.U.P.K produces. Look at the men that the I.S.U.P.K produces. Look at the sisters that the I.S.U.P.K produces. Understand? Look at our marriages. Look at our brotherhood. Look at our sisterhood. Understand? Look at how we raise our kids. Look at how we raise up our nation. Look at the different things we're doing in the community. Understand? Look at the fruits of the I.S.U.P.K. Understand? And you can see for yourself who's with the Most High. You can see for yourself who's with God. You understand? And so for this class, this Wednesday night law class, is why I'm saying get a notebook. You understand? Get a pen and paper. Right? Take notes. You understand? You can read these scriptures for yourself. All right. So again, this is the law class, and one of the biggest lies, you understand, which is it's one of the most disgusting lies that I hear about all the time, and it's this idea that the followers of Christ and the followers of God don't need to keep the commandments of God. That the followers of Christ can just go around doing whatever it is they want. And time again, we're out in these streets looking for the fruits of these Christian churches. We're speaking to the people that are claiming to be Christian, and all of them are saying the same things. Right? Again, we're in Toronto. You can go at Yonge and Dundas for yourself. You can speak to anybody you want. You understand? You got Christians out there, Muslims out there. Every time I speak to those Christians out there, they're always saying it's okay for us to eat pork. So it's okay for us to eat shrimp, crab, and lobster. That the laws of God are done away with. You understand? A lot of the times they want to get into a conversation about what laws do we have to keep. Because in their minds, if you say law of Moses, then the laws of Moses you don't have to keep. And they think you only have to keep the laws of Christ. When really, if you understood that Christ was a prophet and he spoke on behalf of the Most High, everything that we read about in this Bible is from the Most High. Everything we read about in this Bible is from God. You understand? We can jump to that first. Or no, select. I'll just loosely paraphrase it. It says in the Bible that this book was compiled through holy men. Understand? Men who were inspired by the Spirit. Understand? Men who were inspired to write down what it is that the Most High was telling them. Understand? When you read this book, all 66 books from Genesis to Revelation, all of this comes from the Most High. Understand? There is no difference. There is no law of Christ, law of Moses, law of Paul. Understand? Law of Isaiah. There are no different laws. Everything in this Bible comes from the Most High. Understand? And a lot of times we can't be so simple-minded. You understand? Can't be so simple-minded, can't be so carnal when it comes to understanding this book. And so these Christians out here teaching the laws are done away with, this is one of the main reasons we're teaching this class every Wednesday. All right? Shout out to Barak Wana, Yahweh Shema, Bashim El Shai, the water for tuning in, sis. Which is one of the reasons when we're teaching this, why we're teaching this law class, because this is something that these other religions are teaching are done away with. All right. Let's start off we can jump to this verse. We're going to go to Wisdom of Solomon. I believe it's in chapter 14. We'll start at verse 27. It says, this is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 27. It says, for the worshiping of idols, not to be named, is the beginning. What is the worshiping of idols? Worshiping of an idol is worshiping of a false god. You understand? Putting your faith and belief in something that is anything but the Most High. You understand? An idol is a false god. An idol is something that Muslims do when they circle that rock in Mecca 7 times. They're bowing down, worshiping this rock, thinking that what do they say? They say it came out of the sky. It was a meteor that came out of the sky, and Moses found it. They got some big long story about this rock. When it was a couple years ago, they had some rainstorm, and their sacred idol, their sacred rock started chipping away, and you could see the concrete that was beneath it. Now, why is that important? If you're in construction, understand? I've been in construction damn near 10 years, and I understand that when you're building something, you're forming something, what they call is forming concrete. It has a form to it, right? You build forms and then you pour the concrete so it can shape the way that you want the concrete to shape. And you could see that this rock or beneath this, what they call the Mecca stone or the Kaaba stone, whatever it is, you could see poured concrete beneath it. You understand? And it's just showing you that this thing was built. So this sacred thing that these Muslims are out here worshiping, you understand? This is a idol. Understand? This is something that doesn't have any power. You understand? It's a It's a false idol. It's something that people are putting their belief in, thinking that it has some importance when really it's just poured concrete. And so, again, this verse is saying, for the worshiping of idols, not to be named, is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. You understand? This is the beginning of all evil. This is the reason for child molesters. This is the reason for murderers. This is the reason for thieves. This is for the reason for rape. This is the reason for pedophilia. All these wicked things that we see on the earth is the result of worshiping these false idols. And what is one of these false idols? Another one is Christianity. Christianity is not in the Bible. I think you see that word Christianity one or two times in the New Testament, and that was a word that was attributed to the people who were following Christ. You understand? And so that the whole religion of Christianity itself, you are never going to find that in the Bible. And so you have people today going around calling themselves Christian, claiming to love God, claiming to know God. They sit there and they cry in this Christian church saying, I have a personal relationship with Jesus and I'm married to Jesus. I love Jesus. Hallelujah. All this nonsense. They're on Young and Dundas right now singing, praise Jesus, hallelujah, Jesus, all day, all night. This is all they do. And none of these things are found in the Bible. None of it. This is what was called the worshiping of idols. And this is why in the Christian church, you have so many child molesters. You have Catholic churches. There's Catholic churches in Montreal that the city actually shut down and said there's too much child molestation going on in these churches. So the city of Montreal actually shut down the Catholic Church. You understand? This isn't any secrets. Christianity has been around for hundreds of years. Understand? Right back to the Council of Nicaea. And you see the worshiping of this religion and look at how much destruction it has caused in our community. You understand? Right down to one of the things I was saying about, look at I.S.U.P.K marriages. The Christian church, you get married, I think you have I think 50% of Christian marriages end within like 3 months. You understand? They have like some 80% divorce rate inside the Christian church. What is that telling you? It's telling you that if you follow your pastor and you listen to what he says and you do what he says, your marriage is not going to last. So when Christ said, you shall know them by your fruits, look at the fruit of Christianity. It doesn't create long-lasting marriages. What it creates is drug dealers. What it creates is homosexuals. What it creates is child molesters, rapists, men sleeping with other men's wives. This is all in the Christian church. You understand? You're never going to find that in the I.S.U.P.K. So again, read it one more time. It says, for the worshiping of idols not to be named is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. All of that is found following other gods outside of the Most High. It's very simple. And if you're truly following the Most High, you wouldn't see any evil. Right? So, again, this law class is so important because this isn't something that's taught to our people like it's damn near the most important thing in the world. Now, especially if you're a child of the Most High, you're a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, or Jacob, right? Today going around calling yourselves Black, Hispanic, or Native American, you descend from the greatest nation to ever walk this earth, right? The scriptures say ye are gods, ye are powers walking amongst men. It says that in the book of Psalms. You understand? If you're a child of God, you're Black, Hispanic, Native American, Indian, you are a God walking around this earth. You're a power. You're a special people, above all people on the face of this earth. And you got to understand that these laws, statutes, and commandments were given to you. So this law class not only is here to let you know, not only is the Bible telling you you got to keep these laws, but these laws are for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's what the I.S.U.P.K is built around. We're built around only serving our people and loving our people, teaching our people how to be uh, a moral people, people of integrity. And that's what these laws, statutes, and commandments give us. All right. So tonight's class, this is titled "The Memorial of Blowing of Trumpets." Now, why are we going to talk about the Memorial of Blowing of Trumpets? Because this Friday we have one of our feast days coming up. Let's actually jump to that really quick. This Friday we have one of our feast days. It's called the Memorial of Blowing the Trumpets, and this is a commandment from the Most High for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians to keep. Okay, let's go to the book of Amos, chapter 5, and verse 21. Amos 5 and verse 21 says, I despise your feast days. This is the Most High telling the children of Israel, telling Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, he hates and he despises our feast days. What's a feast day that we just passed that the Most High is not with? We just had Labor Day. That was not too long ago, right? You have Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans out there running around celebrating Labor Day. What else do? We do things like, I think Father's Day had just passed not too recently or not too long ago. Father's Day, Mother's Day, Easter, right? Those are some of the things that passed not too long ago. Valentine's Day, right? All these things within the last couple of months, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans were keeping. What's the Most High say? Amos 5 and 21. I despise your feast days. This is right from God. Tell me a Christian that doesn't celebrate Valentine's Day. Every Christian celebrates Valentine's Day. Show me a Christian that doesn't celebrate Mother's Day and Father's Day. Right? That's why it says the worshiping of idols is the beginning, the end of all evil. Worshiping of idols is a false god. Christians are out here celebrating Valentine's Day, Easter. What is Easter? Easter is a celebration of the goddess Ishtar. You go back into history, you see where some of these feast days came from. A lot of them coming right from the culture of the Greeks and the Romans. And these gods in 2023, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans want to celebrate. You're doing it under the Christian church. When God says, I despise your feast days, there is no verse in the Bible that commands the children of Israel to celebrate Halloween. There's not one verse in the Bible that tells the children of Israel to celebrate Christmas, Easter, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Labor Day. None of these things we find in the Bible. And for some reason, that pastor has you believing that these things are okay to do. Not only are they okay to do, your pastor will encourage you, celebrate Mother's Day. That we should get our mothers a gift on Mother's Day, and this is a beautiful day for mothers, and mothers should be celebrated. And they'll probably try to twist the scriptures and say, honor thy father and thy mother, and that's why we should celebrate Mother's Day, when that feast is not found in the Bible. You can read that in the book of Leviticus 23. Leviticus 23, Moses told the children of Israel what feast days they are supposed to keep. And in Leviticus 23, you are not going to find Mother's Day. You're not going to find the Sabbath. You're not going to find Mother's Day. You're not going to find Father's Day, Christmas. But what you are going to find is Passover. What you are going to find is keeping the Sabbath. What you are going to find is Feast of Tabernacles. You're also going to find the Memorial of Blowing of Trumpets, which is coming up in 2 days. All right, it's going to be this Friday, the 15th. You understand? If you're Black, Hispanic, and Native American, you are commanded to keep the memorial of blowing of trumpet. This is a feast that the Most High commanded us to keep. And your Christian pastor is never going to tell you that. Why? Because Christianity is an idol. It is a false god. It's not in the Bible. All right, let's go to, let's get one more verse. We'll go to the book of Proverbs. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 12. Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 12. Right? It says in the book of Amos, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assembly. And the Most High is not with us when we're celebrating Easter, because Easter is just not found in the Bible. So your pastor that has you celebrating Easter, your pastor that has you celebrating Mother's Day, these things are not in the Bible. Thanksgiving is not in the Bible. And the Most High is not with you when you celebrate these things. He says, I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. You understand? Even though you can sit there and thank the Most High for that turkey. You can thank the Most High for your mother on Mother's Day. You can, thank the Most High for Jesus on Christmas and the gifts you got and whatever it may be. But understand that none of those things are in the Bible. And the Most High hates those things. He hates the worshiping of idols, because he understands how evil it is. It's the beginning, the end of all evil, according to God. So when you're out there looking for the truth, you understand, you're out there trying to understand who it is I should be listening to, who it is I should follow, who has the truth of the Bible, where are the prophets, you understand? Oh, you shall know them by their fruits. You can visibly see in the Christian church, they are worshiping false idols. That's why there's so much evil in that Christian church, right? It says in the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 12, it says, if a ruler hearken to lies, all right, what is a ruler hearkening to lies? A ruler is somebody in a position of power. A ruler is somebody who has authority, right? Somebody who is giving orders to other people, right? Who is a ruler? A ruler is a Christian pastor, right? What is a pastor supposed to do? You're supposed to lead the people, lead and guide the people, protect the people. You're supposed to teach the people how to follow the Most High God, right? So if your pastor, it says, if a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. So now what is it if you have this pastor who's sitting there saying, well, my dad taught me this Bible. My dad was a pastor and he taught me this Bible. And now I'm teaching the people what my dad taught. Well, if this is this new pastor that's set up in a position of authority over you, and he was listening to his dad, and he was listening to other Christian preachers, and listening to other Muslim imams, and so forth and so on. If you're listening to people that are teaching you lies, it says all his servants are wicked. Everybody in that Christian church is wicked. Everybody in that Christian church is evil, according to God and according to this Bible, according to the prophets of God. Everybody that is listening to God and wrote down in this book and left us a record for us to follow, understand, to listen and to hear what the Most High is saying. Everything in this book is letting us know that these people that teach us lies, they're wicked and their followers. These people worshiping false idols are wicked, them and their followers, right? It says, I'm loosely paraphrasing, if if the blind follow the blind, then both of them shall end up in a ditch, right? You can't follow somebody who's not leading you the correct way and not think you're going to destroy your life, right? We got to be very careful on who it is we're listening to, who it is we're getting our information from, who it is that actually has the truth of the Bible, right? And to these other these groups out here calling themselves Hebrew Israelites, claiming that they're in the truth and they know the truth. Again, look at their fruits. Look at who the IUIC is. Look at the fruits of the IUIC. Look at what they're producing in their organization. Right? We've already seen a sister murdered under their care, under their watch. Right? We've already seen another man. Salaki, what was that whole story? I think he slept with a what's the word? Somebody from an alternate lifestyle. Salaki, YouTube, don't tear us down. He slept with somebody, a part of that alternative lifestyle community. Ended up shooting the person. Right. This was found in their organization. We had a man that was damn near beat to death under one of their officers, under one of their captains, under their watch, right? You got all these different lies and mischief going on in their organization. This is the fruits that we've seen of the IUIC. You understand? And that's why they're going to fall like every other organization that doesn't obey the Most High falls. That's the fruit. It's what they're producing. Sit back and watch. See it for yourself. You understand? Christ gave us everything that we need in order to know who the true prophets are. This Bible gave us all the information that we need to know where the truth is. It's just us. It's up to us to follow it, to study, right? To hear it and obey. Right? So again, right? You're in this class. Write down all these precepts. See what it is we're bringing out. Test these things for yourself. And when you believe you've found the truth, that's the place you need to be. When you believe you've found the place that you can submit yourself to and understand and have that belief that they're going to lead you to the Most High, that's where you need to be. Right? What does it say in the book of Hebrews? It says not to grieve those that have authority over you. Right? Don't grieve the people that have authority over you because they watch over your soul. So when you find the truth, when you find the priests and prophets of the Most High God, those are the people you need to obey. Those are the people you need to hearken and listen to because they're watching over your soul. They're leading you the way that God commanded them to lead you. Right? They're leading you the way you're supposed to be so that you can, present yourself to the Most High the way that He commanded you to. Right? So again, it says if a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. Right? So we got to be careful of who it is that we're listening to. Right? So again, we got the memorial blowing the trumpets coming up. Right? And so let's prove that this is what it is we're supposed to be keeping. This is what it is we're supposed to be doing. Let's jump to the book of Leviticus. We'll go Leviticus 23. The book of Leviticus 23 is where we find all the feasts of the Most High. Sorry, let me pull it up here. Leviticus 23. The book of Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 1. It says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, right, this is the Most High speaking to a man. Okay, this is the Most High speaking to a man because this is who the Most High is always dealing with. Right? When you read through the Bible, right, you don't have the book of Jennifer, book of Tiffany, book of Stephanie. You don't have 66 books of women. Right? You have a bunch of books of men. right? Probably you got over 55 books of men, right? And then in those other books that are labeled things like Genesis, right? Numbers, Leviticus, these are all written from Moses, right? It was instructed to men to write down these different things. Okay? It says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel. Now, this is an order from God, giving an order to Moses. And Moses is going to give an order to the children of Israel. Okay? When God tells Moses to do something, Moses has to do it. Moses is about to speak to the children of Israel, and what does he say? Concerning the feast of the Lord. Okay, so we already went to the book of Amos 5:21, where the Most High says, I despise your feast days. Understand? The Most High doesn't hate his feast days, he hates your feast days. You don't see Valentine's Day in the Bible. Here it says, concerning the feasts of the Lord. We're about to read the feasts of the Lord. You read them all through Leviticus 23. He says, speak unto the children of Israel, say unto them, concerning the feasts of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts. You understand? The Most High is establishing his feast days. The Most High is establishing the things that he is ordering the children of Israel to keep. Anything outside of that, the Most High hates. Anything outside of that, the Most High is not with. You can't wake up tomorrow and say, this is a new feast day this is a new feast that we're going to start, you know what I mean, in the celebration of my kid's soccer game. And now, I don't know, every September 15th, we're going to celebrate all boys who play soccer. You understand? That is not found in the Bible. That is not a feast of the Lord. That is something that man made. That is an idol. And you begin to start worshiping that idol, Lord knows the evil that's gonna be created from that. Right? Lord knows all the fruits of that day that you create are gonna come from that. Which is why the worshiping of idols is the beginning, the end of all evil. Right? You believe God or you don't. He says, these are my feasts. We jump down to verse 23. Verse 23 says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, verse 24, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, right? A day of rest, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, and holy convocation. This is a feast of the Lord, the memorial of blowing of trumpets. Why aren't Muslims keeping the memorial of blowing the trumpets? Why aren't Christians keeping the memorial of blowing of trumpets? Because they don't obey God. They don't follow God. You understand? They follow the traditions of men. They're worshiping false gods. They're worshiping idols. They don't obey God. None of what they do is found in the Bible. What we do see in the Bible is the memorial of blowing of trumpets. And this is what was spoke to the children of Israel. If you're Black, Hispanic, and Native American, this is something that you need to keep. And this is another reason why your identity is so important. You go around asking a Christian, like, where are you from? What's your background? Where do you descend from? What nation of people are you? They always give this Salakia. They always give this answer, nonsense answer. Oh, I'm a child of God. My ethnicity doesn't matter. My race is a child of God. My ethnicity is a child of God. These are the things that they like to say. And at the same time, they'll claim to believe the Bible. Well, doesn't it say in the book of Genesis, these are the different nations that I have divided? I've put them in their own lands. I've separated the borders, separated the bounds, and put them in their own lands, divided the tongues, divided the nations. We read that in the book of Genesis. You have 18 nations written in the book of Genesis, right? And then you got nations that come up like Esau, like Edom and Israel. Well, that means that all of us descend from a particular nation of people, right? It speaks about Rebekah giving birth to 2 sons, and in her womb 2 nations would come. So you can descend from Edom, you can descend from Jacob, right? You can descend from Canaan, you can descend from Push, you can descend from Gomer. There's so many different nations that we read about in the Bible, right? And so it's crazy in 2023, especially you're a pastor out here claiming to follow God. Why wouldn't you teach the truth of the Bible? Why wouldn't you teach your congregation that there's different nations in this Bible? We clearly see that you have Asians, you got East Indians, you got Africans, right? All these things are in the Bible. In the I.S.U.P.K, we've done the research. We know the history. We know where people descend from. We know that the Romans were calling themselves Idumean. So you're here today being a descendant of Rome, right? You're a Caucasian walking around calling yourself European, Caucasian. You descend from Romans, you descend from Greeks. Well, guess what? They called themselves the descendants of Idumea. What is Idumea? Idumea in the Bible is Edom. They know who they are. Understand? Calling themselves Caucasian from the Caucasus Mountains of Russia. They know they're Russian, Greek, Roman. These are different nations that come from a man named Esau. It's crazy that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans don't know who they are. They don't know their identity. They don't know where they came from. When the history is there, the records are there. So when Moses is saying, speak unto the children of Israel and command them to keep the memorial of blowing of trumpets, well, you need to know if you're an Israelite or not. You're calling yourself Jamaican, you don't know what man you descend from, you don't know what nation you descend from in the Bible. Well, how do you know if this book's for you or not? How do you know if Moses was giving you a command or not? Right? Moses was commanded to speak to the children of Israel. It's extremely important that you know who you are. That's why we have history class in the I.S.U.P.K. You learn about your history, learn where you came from, learn where you descend from. You have an identity, a language, a culture, and this book is pertaining to you. Right? He says, speaking of the children of Israel, saying in the 7th month, in the 1st day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, and holy convocation. In the I.S.U.P.K, under Commanding General YAHANNA, this Friday, September 15th, come sundown, we're celebrating the memorial of blowing the trumpets. You can see the fruits of the men and the women in the I.S.U.P.K. All right, Friday the 15th. If you're in Toronto, all right, make sure you get a hold of your camp leader. Right, get a hold of that man that's over you. Right, he'll let you know where we're having the feast. Right, where we can get together, where we can gather. Right, gather with brothers and sisters, eat some good food. Right, listen to some good music. Right, enjoy the brotherhood and the sisterhood. Right, keep the feasts. Right, obey our God, obey our power. Right? Verse 25 says, "Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord." What is an offering? An offer made by fire unto the Lord. That's right. That's some good barbecue chicken, right? You put some sweet smelling chicken on that barbecue on that grill, right? You offer that to the Most High, right? You eat with brothers and sisters. You feast. You drink. Right? You party. You have a good time. Right? And he says, "You shall do no servile work therein." Right? It's a day of rest. It's a day that you're supposed to take off. Right? Now, of course, in this kingdom, right, we're not in rulership. The Israelites, the children of God, we are not ruling this planet right now. And if we were ruling this planet, right, and when Christ comes back and is ruling this planet, believe that the first day of every seventh month, you understand, everything is going to be shut down. Just like in Esau's kingdom, right? This Caucasian that's over us, in his kingdom, Christmas, everything is shut down. Easter, everything is shut down. Labor Day that just passed, everything is shut down. Because to him, those are holidays that are important to his people. For the children of Israel, when we're in our rulership and we're in power, right? We have our own land and our own governing body. The first day of every seventh month, everything is going to be shut down. Nobody is going to be doing any servile work. It's a day off. It's a feast day for the Most High. All right. So you're Black, Hispanic, and Native American, right? Living in North and South Central America today, or living anywhere in this world today, if Esau or whoever is over you does not give you that day off, well, then there's nothing you can do, right? If you're in jeopardy of losing your job, right, because you want to take this day off, and that's going to put you in a situation where now you can't provide or feed your kids, or you know what I mean, like something that isn't practical is going to happen. You know what I mean, like losing your job or whatever it may be, to where now you can't pay your rent, pay food. I mean, pay for your kids to go wherever they got to go. Well, don't lose your job over trying to keep this feast. You understand? You do the best you can to keep this feast, right? And most importantly, you should get some counsel from a priest and prophet of the Most High, right? Because these laws, statutes, and commandments are very important for us to keep. So get some counsel. You understand? Listen to what a man of the Lord has to say, and so that he can help you. You know what I mean? Help instruct you. You understand, on how to change your life and do what it is you need to do to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. All right. Like, I know there's sometimes, you know what I mean, there might be a brother who, you know, his job isn't going to give him that day off to keep that feast day. And so it might be better or beneficial for that brother to start looking towards finding a new job. I mean, if that's possible for him, if he's maybe a brother's very skillful or a sister is very skillful and she's able to change jobs or change careers or whatever it may be, then these are things that might be best for you to start doing. That way you can keep all these laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Right? And that goes into all these laws, right? Like, for example, um, eating pork is an abomination to the Most High. And it says in your laws, if pork touches a pot, you got to throw that pot in the garbage. Or if it goes inside the oven, the oven's unclean for how long, right? So you might have to throw that oven out. Whatever those laws say, you got to understand that these are the laws in the Bible. So now let's say you're at a job where, you got to cook pork. Well, do you lose your job and quit your job because somebody else is asking for pork? And you got to cook this pork on a stove. Well, that's not you sinning. That's not you disobeying God because somebody else wants to eat pork. So we got to learn how to move, right? The scriptures say, be wise as a serpent, right? He sent us as sheep amongst wolves. There's people around us trying to devour us. These other nations that are around us are trying to destroy us. And so we got to learn to be wise. We got to learn to be tactful. We got to learn how to move as we're not in our rulership. All right. So it's very important that you seek a priest, you seek a prophet of the Most High, so that you can get wise counsel on what it is you need to be doing to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. All right. So we got the Feast of Memorial of Blowing the Trumpets coming up this Friday. And you better be damn sure to do what it is you can do to keep this feast. All right. Because this is an order from God. This is an order from the Most High. All right. So what else? Got the Memorial of Blowing the Trumpets coming up. And what is this about? Right. Let's jump to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 33. Okay, what are the Memorial of Blowing the Trumpets about? This is Ezekiel 33, and verse 1. It says, again, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon a land, if the people of the land take a man of their coasts, and set him for their watchman. Let's keep going, verse 3. If when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people, right? Let's stop here. Verse 3, it says, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, when a watchman seeth the sword come upon the land, what is the sword? The sword is destruction. Okay, and what is a watchman? A watchman is somebody who looks over his brothers and sisters. A watchman should be your pastor, right? When the Most High said to Cain and Abel, he told Cain, you're supposed to watch over your brother, right? Be your brother's keeper. These are things that we should be doing as a people. We should be looking over one another, keeping each other safe, right? So when a sword is coming to the land, meaning destruction is coming to a land, destruction is coming to your people, right? It says, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. Why is this watchman blowing the trumpet? Because danger is coming. Understand? Danger is coming upon his land. And so he is warning his people, letting them know of the danger that is coming. Okay, this is what a watchman does. And that trumpet is that alarm, right? You hear your fire alarm go off in your house, right? Your fire alarm's going off saying danger, danger, right? What is that danger? The danger is you got a potential fire, right? The danger is you got hazardous smoke, right? Something that can hurt you, something that can harm you. So that alarm goes off. That's what a trumpet does. It alarms the people to let them know, pay attention, wake up, right? Focus. Something is coming that can hurt you. Something is coming that can harm you. That's what that trumpet is for. All right? It says, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. So you hear an alarm come, right? You hear that trumpet blowing, and you know, and you've been warned that danger is coming. If you do not listen to that alarm, if you don't listen to that warning, if something goes wrong with you, or something happens to you, or something happens to your family, then that's on you because you chose not to listen to that warning. And in the I.S.U.P.K, we're warning Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that not only is a sword here, but a sword is coming. You understand? You got Canadians starting to freak out again over this next COVID wave, right? You got another COVID wave, and we're gonna get more COVID waves, and more plagues, and more earthquakes, and more forest fires, and fires, understand, and floods, and ice storms, and wars, and death and destruction. These things, the I.S.U.P.K is sounding the alarm. We've been sounding the alarm since 1969. We're on a street corner every Saturday letting our people know of the destruction that is coming and the destruction that's here. We're on that corner every Saturday letting Esau know about how disgusting and vile of a person he's been and how his kingdom needs to be destroyed. You understand? The I.S.U.P.K is blowing a trumpet. We've been blowing a trumpet. We are warning our people, and our people need to understand that we need to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. This Friday the 15th, you need to keep the memorial of blowing the trumpets. It's important. Understand? We got to stop playing with the Most High like, you know what I mean? Like he's just some soft, Salaki you two, but watch my language. But we got to understand that the Most High is not something to be played with, right? The Most High is damn near unto a serial killer. He flooded the entire earth, except for he left 8 people behind. He murdered billions of people because of how wicked and disgusting they were. The Most High has no problem taking a man's life. The Most High has no problem killing, no problem murdering. He's done it before. He'll do it again. He's doing it now. He's sending these plagues. How many people just died over in Africa in the, was it that earthquake or something? They had over 1,000 people dead. You understand? These things come from the Most High. You understand? There is a danger here, and there's a danger that's going to keep coming. All right? Right up until Christ returns. And so we need to get in this law class. This law class every Wednesday night, we're going to teach you what it is that you need to do. Understand? We are the watchmen watching over you. That is what we are doing. It says, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. Salaki, verse 4 said, then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. You don't listen to the men in the I.S.U.P.K and what we've been warning you is going to happen, your blood is going to be on your own head. You understand? You fake Israelite groups out here teaching all this different type of nonsense, right? Not teaching you what your elders taught you. You need to watch yourself, right? There was that brother, what's his name, Tazadakia, right? He just died of the COVID. You guys better watch yourself. You understand? Watch what it is you teach. Watch what it is you say. Watch who it is you come against. You understand? This is a warning from the watchman of the Most High. This is what that trumpet does. That trumpet sounds the alarm to warn his people. Verse 5 says, he heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning, his blood shall be upon him. Right? If you don't listen to that trumpet, your blood will be upon you. Right? Your death is on your own head. But it says, but he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. The priests and prophets in the I.S.U.P.K are telling you that you need to keep this feast of memorial of blowing the trumpets. You need to keep the feast days of the Most High. You need to stop celebrating Christmas, stop celebrating Easter, Halloween, all these different pagan holidays, right? All this different worshiping of idols. The Most High hates these things. You understand? The Most High is not with you celebrating these things. The Most High will be with you celebrating this memorial of blowing the trumpet. You understand? Believe that. Right? It says, but he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. And that's how you deliver your soul. You understand? You come to these Wednesday night law classes and you learn the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. All right, it's extremely important if you're Black, Hispanic, or Native American Indian. But let's jump to the New Testament. All right, we spent a lot of time in the Old Testament, and for some reason, Christians like to believe that God changed. All right, let's go to 1 John chapter 2 and verse 3. Right, because these wicked pastors would have you believe that the Old Testament's done away with. We don't need to follow the Old Testament. Even though they'll pick and choose what verses in the Old Testament they want to believe in. But somebody might try to tell you that memorial of blowing the trumpets was in the Old Testament, that it's not something that we need to follow anymore. So let's go to the New Testament. Let's go to the book of 1 John chapter 2. Let's start at verse 3. All right, this is 1 John chapter 2 and verse 3. It says, and hereby we do know that we know him. Right? Doesn't every Christian say that they know God? Right? Doesn't every pastor say he knows God, he knows God's heart? All these Christian women going around that they got a personal relationship with Jesus. God knows my heart. You know what they say all the time? What does the Bible say? What is the fruit of those people? Right? Verse 3 says, and hereby we do know that we know him, if we keep his commandments. What are his commandments? The memorial of blowing the trumpets is the Most High commandment. That is one of his commandments. If you are not keeping the memorial of blowing the trumpets, you are not following Christ. You are not following the Most High. You're not following the prophets. You understand? Verse 4 says, he that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar. This is 1 John chapter 2 and verse 4. So you Christians who are out here saying that you can eat pork, you can eat shrimp, crab, and lobster, and that you don't have to keep these feasts of the Most High, you are out here saying you don't have to do these things, and you are not doing these things, according to God, you are a liar. You claim to know God, but you're not doing these things, you are a liar. You understand? That's 1 John chapter 2 and verse 4. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him. You understand? Not only are you a liar, the truth isn't in you. You don't have the truth of the Bible. Your leader hearkened to lies, and he's wicked, and he taught you to be just as wicked. He gave you his lies, he gave you his knowledge, and none of it came from the Bible. The truth is not in you. You don't know God. You don't know a damn thing about this Bible. You're not keeping his commandments. You don't keep the memorial of blowing the trumpets. You don't keep his feast days. You were just out here celebrating Labor Day. All right. Let's drop back, let's go to the book of Romans chapter 6 and verse 1. Right? A lot of you nutcase Christians like to go to Paul too. Right? You like to bring up Paul, and Paul says, well, we're not under the law. Right? They always say we're not under the law. Now we're under grace. Well, what did Paul say? This is Romans chapter 6 and verse 1. What shall we say then? Shall we sin, or Salakia? Romans 6 and 1. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? Well, what is sin according to the Bible? Sin is the transgression of the law. These laws, statutes, and commandments that we read about in the Bible, if you are breaking them, you are in sin. If you don't keep the memorial of blowing the trumpets, you are in sin. Right? Keeping these you just celebrated Labor Day, you're in sin. keeping the feast of the Most High God. So Paul said, what shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? That's what all you Christians say. We're under grace, 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 grace for everything. Grace for being a drug dealer, grace for being a coke addict, grace for being a pedophile, grace for being a thief, grace for being a drunk, alcoholic. You understand? Christians are going around saying we're under grace, we're under grace. And Paul told us we're under grace. Paul told us we're not under the law. Paul says, shall we keep sinning because we're under grace? Verse 2 says, God forbid. Right? What's God forbid? Hell no, it does not mean we can keep sinning. Hell no, it doesn't mean we don't have to keep the memorial of blowing the trumpets because Christ came. Hell no, get that out your head. Don't think about it. Don't put it in your mind. Don't put that as a thought in your head that it's now okay for you to eat pork. That is right out of the mouth of Paul. Jump down to verse 15. Verse 15 says, what then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law? Isn't that what this is? This is what every single Christian says. We are not under the law. Right? Paul says, what then shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? God forbid. Hell no. That is this verse, the Most High must have said in the year 2023, every Christian is going to say we're under grace and we're not under the law. Romans 6 and verse 15 was the Most High laughing and making fun of all you idiotic pastors, all you idiotic Christians who don't have any truth. You have no truth in you. That Christian church is a disgusting place, and that's why Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are running by the millions, by the thousands out of that Christian church. Because everybody sees the fruits of that place and they see how disgusting it is. All right, we had brothers over or up here in Canada. After all those residential graves were found here in Canada, all those dead bodies, those hundreds of thousands of dead bodies found on those residential schools under the Catholic Church. We had people in Canada going around burning churches, setting churches on fire because of how disgusting that place is. So like it. Let me see if I can find a quick video on that. Let me pull up this. Let me pull up this quick video. Right, because we got to understand. Slovakia. Yeah, we got to understand that the Christian church is the house of Satan. You understand? There's nothing about this Christian church that is for our people. All right, let's play this quick clip.
For 110 years, Sacred Heart Church stood on land belonging to the Penticton Indian Band until a fire destroyed it. Chief Greg Gabriel grew up Catholic. As a child, he attended the church with his family, but he has a complicated relationship with religion.
I could verse the whole Catholic Mass in Latin and not my own language.
The congregation had been
Yeah, that's such a disgusting thing, right? You got our brothers, the children of Israel, the children of God, right? They can read a whole bunch of Catholic prayers and these different verses in the Bible that Catholics hold dear to their hearts, acting as if it's some righteous place. This brother can't even speak his own language. His language was beaten out of him at that Catholic church. Literally. I think if they used to speak their native tongue, they would get whooped with a ruler. They'd have their hair cut off. Everything about their culture was beaten out of them. Right? Some of these boarding schools even had electric chairs on them. And so you had Gadites, the children of God, dying by the thousands because of malnutrition, because of different diseases, because of the harsh conditions of a damn school put out there for little children. You got 8-year-olds being molested by Catholic nuns. You got boys being molested by Catholic priests. All of this disgusting nonsense is going on in these residential schools. All of this evil, right? Like I don't have the words to describe the disgusting things that went on in those residential schools. Wisdom of Solomon said, the beginning, the end, the cause of all evil is the worshiping of idols. These Catholic churches, these Christian churches, they all need to be burnt to the ground. All right, let's let this video finish.
Dwindling, but for those who practice Catholicism, it was a place for baptisms, weddings, and funerals.
The church and all those memories are now gone.
A few hours later, in nearby Oliver, St. Gregory's Church went up in flames. It was built in 1910 on land belonging to the I.S.U.P.K Indian band. And whatever the beliefs of the indigenous community today, it has shaken them.
It's sad because people still need somewhere to pray.
The two fires took place in the early hours of National Indigenous Day. No one is saying there's a connection yet, but leaders say it's time for reconciliation to be expedited.
We cannot go on with the crippling legacy of racialized violence.
A sentiment shared by the Penticton Indian Band in light of the discovery of grave sites at the former residential school in Kamloops, run by the church.
That anger is not going to go away. And this is the result of the anger.
No one is condoning the fires, but there's a feeling that the anger has gone beyond the boiling point. Robin Gill, Global News, Vancouver.
Yeah, let me tell you, you're Black, Hispanic, Native American. Our people are running out of those churches. Christian church is falling. You understand? To the point of seeing so much evil be done to our Gadite brothers and sisters in these residential schools. Right? Now, we can't say for sure who it was or who did these things, but you could definitely understand why these Gadites don't want these Catholic churches on their reserves. If you can't understand that, there is no humanity inside of you. You can't understand the disgusting things that the Christian church has done to the children of God and to Blacks and Hispanics. Man, you are not awake. You're asleep. You're really not seeing the things going on in this earth. But a lot of our people are. A lot of our people are waking up. And that's why, man, you're seeing these churches being burnt down. You're seeing us leave the Christian church by the thousands because this place is a wicked place for our people. And it's not hard to see that. It's really not hard to see that. Right? So what is Romans 6 and verse 15 says? It says, what then shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? God forbid. Paul says, hell no. We cannot keep sinning. Understand? We can't keep living the lifestyle that we were living before learning the truth of the Bible. You understand? The Most High said you're supposed to keep the memorial of blowing the trumpets. You need to start keeping the memorial of blowing the trumpets. You need to start keeping all the law, statutes, and commandments that was written in this book. Right? Let's go to let's go to we can drop that. Right, we went over that. Let's grab we'll grab a couple more verses and then we'll end out. All right, it's 8 o'clock. So we gotta stop our time. All right, let's grab these 3 verses real quick.
May I have your attention, please? It is now 8:01 p.m. and the library will close in 29 minutes. If you need to register for a library card or update your current library card to borrow materials, please do so now at the customer service desk on the first floor.
Let's go to the book of
Please
Psalms.
return all reference materials to the floors from which they are borrowed. Reference materials are for use in the
Just
library
waiting
only.
for this announcement
If
to
you're
end.
using our wireless service
Right,
station,
we're in the North
please
York
use the
Library,
reception in
North York
25
Central
minutes time
Library
and
right now in
8:25.
Toronto. All right, again, you're Black, Hispanic, and Native American in the city of Toronto. All right, you're trying to meet with brothers and sisters. Right, get a hold of us. We're all over Facebook. We're on Instagram. All right, Twitter. All right, just send us a message and let us know if you wanna join the school. Like I said, we got the sign-in links in the chat. Make sure you hit those sign-in links. Make sure you sign up before the class
Once again, the
ends.
library isn't closing
Right.
in 28 minutes
And
at
if you want to
8:30.
join with us in classes, get a hold of us. Again, we got the Memorial of Blowing the Trumpets this Friday. You got to get a hold of us, all right? The way you can gather together, like the scriptures command. All right. So let's jump into a couple more verses and we'll end up the class. So let's go to let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 160. It's Psalms 119, verse 160. It says, "Thy word is true from the beginning." Right? What did 1 John 2 and verse 4 said? That there's no truth in them. There's no truth in the people that don't keep the law, statutes, and commandments. People that claim to know the Most High and don't keep the laws, they're liars. They don't know God. They don't know the Most High. Psalms 119 and 160 says, "Thy word is true from the beginning." You understand? Everything that the Most High has said right from the beginning, it is the truth. Right? The law, statutes, and commandments that the Most High gave us, it is the truth. Right? Every word written down in this Bible, what nation, the nations in the Bible, you understand? That is the truth. Right? You got to understand who you are, where you come from, understand who you descend from, so that you can understand what it is that's required of you. All right? It says, "Thy word is true from the beginning, and every one of thy righteous judgments endureth forever." Right? These laws aren't just things that isn't just about things that we have to keep, but it's also the judgments that's for them, or the punishments that's for breaking them. Right? You got laws in the Bible that say if your children, or if you know somebody who is worshiping another idol, worshiping a false god, you're supposed to take that man's life. Right? 2023, if you're standing up and singing "Oh Canada," you know what I mean, pledging allegiance to the Canadian flag, to the Canadian government, pledging allegiance to America, that somebody is supposed to kill you. Right? You see somebody doing that, you're supposed to take their life, because the Most High understands that the worshiping of idols is the beginning, the end of all evil. The Most High doesn't want evil in the land. And so these things got to be stopped. These people got to be put to death according to the law. So these judgments that are here, Most High is saying they endure forever. You understand? The law isn't done away with just because Christ came and died on a cross, or whatever disgusting, filthy things they're teaching in that Christian church. The law isn't done away with because we're in New Testament, right? Christ said, "Not one jot or one tittle shall no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled." You understand? Nothing from that law is supposed to be taken away. That's why he said, if you teach men not to keep the law, you're going to be called least in the kingdom of heaven. You tell people you don't have to keep the memorial of blowing of trumpets, you're going to be least in the kingdom of heaven. Christ said you got to teach men and women to keep the law, right? So that you can be great, so that you can have a high position in the kingdom of heaven. When Christ comes to rule, you got to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, right? And these words endure forever. Let's go to Isaiah. Jump to Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 8. Isaiah 40 and 8 says, the grass withereth, right? What does the grass withereth mean? Right? Meaning the grass dies, right? It withers away. You ever look at grass, sometimes it'll start turning brown, it'll start withering away. I mean, maybe the grass wasn't watered or it's really hot outside or whatever it may be, right? The grass will start withering away, right? So Isaiah 40 and 8 says, the grass withereth. This is something it does. The flower fadeth, right? So does the flower. The flower fades away, right? You ever pick some roses? You pick some roses. I mean, maybe don't put it in water, and after a couple of days, I mean, the petals start withering away, right? The flowers start fading away. But the word of our God shall stand forever. So when Moses told the children of Israel, I mean, he told Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that these are the feasts you need to keep. Those words stand forever. Those are the words of the Most High. You understand? The Most High commanded Moses to tell the children of Israel something. Those words shall stand forever. Not because they're not going to go away because we're in the New Testament. Not going to go away because we're in the book of Galatians. You understand? These words shall stand forever. Let's drop that, grab Matthew 25, or Matthew chapter 24 and verse 35. All right. Again, these are for you Christians. You guys love this New Testament. This is what the New Testament says. This is Matthew 24, verse 35. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. You understand? These words in the Bible are not going to pass away. The Most High told the prophets, they recorded in this book, these words are not going to pass away. You can't get around that. Not going to find a verse in the Bible that says you no longer have to keep the laws of God. You don't, the laws are done away with. You're not going to find the laws are done away with in the Bible. You're not going to find you don't have to keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments anymore. What he said in his words, they shall not pass away. It's no different from the prophets of old, right down to Christ. Let's grab one more verse, right? Because again, this is out of Christ's mouth. Well, Matthew 5 and 18. Right, we paraphrased it earlier. Read it really quick. It says Matthew 5 and 18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law. Understand? This law was written for the children of Israel to keep. You understand? And it is here for us forever. Right? These words shall not pass away. God does not change. What he told us 5,000 years ago, what was good for us 5,000 years ago is good for us today. Right? He told us not to go around raping women. He told us not to be pedophiles. Told us not to be adulterers, sleeping with other men's wives. Right? Women sleeping with another man outside their husband. These things weren't good for us then. These things aren't good for us now. Right? That's why we got this next COVID wave coming up. Right? Maybe Moab and Ammon are out eating bat again. Eating bats, horse, pork, right? All these different plagues that come from the Most High. This is because of the disgusting things that we're doing here on this earth. All right, so with that, I'm going to end the class. Again, it's a Wednesday night law class. All right, make sure you stay tuned in with us. All right, Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shem Shabbat Thumb to all the brothers. Yahweh Shema Thumb Bashim Shad all the sisters. Shalom.